Good morning, students. Yesterday we had discussed about our Constitution, Chapter 1. So, in the Constitution, we had discussed what is preamble and how the Constitution Assembly was framed and how many members were there in the Constitution and about the articles and the silent features of our Constitution. So, today we are going to discuss about fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So, we have fundamental rights that was given by Constitution. Fundamental rights are guaranteed to the citizens of the country. What is fundamental rights? It is the right given by the Constitution for all the citizens to enjoy their freedom or to enjoy their right. So, of course, it is very necessary or essential for the development of the personality of citizens. Of course, some of the amendments are there to bring some changes whenever they won't get proper justice. So, total we have 6 fundamental rights. So, they are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, education and cultural right, and one more was added, that was right to property. Very recently that was abolished. So after the 44th amendment, the right to property has been removed. So total we have 6 fundamental rights. That is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, and cultural and education rights. These are 6 fundamental rights. Okay, now let us discuss one by one. That is, first one is right to equality. Right to equality. It is one of the important right given by a constitution. Right to equality means all are equal in front of law. Nobody is above the law. It means irrespective of caste, religion, language, all are equal. So nobody is high, nobody is low. So all the citizens of the country is considered as one. Example, the citizens of India, we all are Indians, irrespective of language, caste, or irrespective of states. It means we all are equal and everyone consider as one, and every citizen has right to enjoy certain rights and policies. So that was given guaranteed by the government. Okay, so that is about the right to equality, whether women or men or is from Gujarat or from Karnataka, all are equal. Okay, so that is right to equality. It means every citizen of the country who complete the age of 18 can vote. That is right to vote. It means all are equal. Whether they are men or women can vote and elect their leaders. And second one is right to freedom. Second one is right to freedom. So what is right to freedom? It means the citizens of the country can move anywhere of the country or any corner of the country, and nobody can suspect him and arrest him. It means he has the freedom of giving speech, and he can move around the country. That is right to freedom. Right to freedom. And third right is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. What is exploitation? Exploitation means exploiting. Exploitation means bringing difference, making difference is called exploitation. Here the aim of this right against exploitation is to eradicate such evil practice in the society. That is, Example we can see, untouchability is considered as offense. At the same time, practicing child marriage and sati system and some of the other examples. So whether the poor, whether they practice Devadasi system or whether whatever they like, whatever they practice, so their rights are given. So that is about the right against exploitation. Okay, so nobody should practice untouchability or they can prevent their no exploitation. I mean, exploitation here means women, children, or anybody, all are equal and they should not be exploited. And fourth one is the right to freedom of religion. It means you know that India is unity in diversity. They follow many religions. Okay, so there are Christians, Hindus, Muslims, like that. So there are so many religions are existed in India. So the citizens of the country can follow any religion. So that is called freedom of religion. Okay, so whatever the religion they want, they like, so they can follow. Next, cultural and educational rights. Cultural and education rights. Again, we have different states, so they follow different culture. So it may be dress, food habitation, and their form of dancing. Okay, so like that, they have different forms. They can follow their own culture. So they can wear their cultural dress. Okay, so that is about the cultural. And what is educational right? So every child 6 to 14 compulsory education is given. So very recently the government has made compulsory education. So education, every citizens of the country has right to get the education. So that is right to educational, right to education and culture. And last one is the heart and soul of the Constitution is the right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional. This is right to constitutional remedies. So the name itself says that what is remedies. Okay, so whatever the problem comes, that will be solved. So the Constitution gives us remedies, solution. So that is right to constitutional remedies. So what is these solutions will be given by the Constitution is nothing but, so all the citizens of the country will be given justice, irrespective of caste, irrespective of language or anything. It means that's why there are some courts are established in the local level as well as in the state as well as in the central. Okay, so the local body, we can say that subordinate courts are situated and high courts are there in the capital, and at the same time Supreme Court is there, High Court is there. So like that, in the different levels there are courts which provide justice to the people of the country. Okay, so that's why the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, drafting chairman of our Constitution, says that right to constitutional remedy is the heart and soul of the citizen, or it is the heart and soul of the Constitution. So these are the fundamental rights are guaranteed and given to the citizens of the country. That is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, cultural and education right, right to constitutional remedies, and one more, right to freedom of religion, right to freedom, right to equality, right against exploitation, right to freedom and religion, that is cultural and education is added together. Okay, so right against exploitation, right to cultural and education, right. Okay, so total 6 fundamental rights we have. Okay, that is, yes, that is right to educational, right to freedom of religion, right against exploitation, right to freedom, right to equality, right to constitutional remedies. Okay, so do you have any doubt about this? So now let us discuss about the fundamental. Already we have discussed about the fundamental rights. Now let us discuss about the fundamental duties. So fundamental duties and rights are same face of the coin. It means, so both are very very important. Okay, so fundamental rights which give protection individually, but fundamental rights, fundamental duties, so which is helpful for the committee or community. Okay, so that's why we can say that fundamental duties are very very important. Some of the fundamental duties are given, are mentioned in the constitution. That is, we should respect our national anthem and national flag, and we have to protect integrity of India, and we need to protect our national and heritages. We need to preserve it, and at the same time we need to develop scientific temper and spirit of the inquiry. Okay, and these are some of the fundamental duties are given by the government are in the constitution. Okay, so we need to protect the integrity of India, national heritage. We should respect our national anthem and national flag. These are some of the duties are given. So they are very much important. They are the very important for the holistic development of the nation. Okay, and next is about the directive principles of state policy is given. Directive principles of state policy is actually, it is a direction given to the state. Okay, policy, or it is the aim of this directive principle of state policy to establish a welfare state. To establish a welfare state, that is following certain directive principles of the state to the state as well as in the center. Okay, it is a form of principles given to the state as well as to the central government, or these are the guidelines. Okay, so through this the government to provide economic, social and political justice to the people. So that is about the directive principles of state policy. So some of the directive principles of state policies are mentioned in the textbook. Please, you can read out once. That is, some of them to provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens, and to encourage rural and cottage industry, and organize, develop agriculture and animal husbandry, to ensure prohibition of liquor. These are some of the important directive principles are given. So that was actually taken by Ireland. That idea was actually taken by Ireland, Irish directive principles of state policy. And this is very very important. Fundamental rights actually related to individual, but the directive principle also, so they are very much important for the community and for the holistic development of the nation. And of course these principles are very much important for the development of the country. And now let us discuss very shortly about some of the rules or some of the constitutional remedies. So when we discuss about the constitutional remedies, that's why I told you these are the heart and soul of the constitution. So what are the things we need to study in the right to constitutional remedies? First one is habeas corpus. Okay, so what is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus is nothing but it is the order passed by the Supreme Court. So here the High Court to produce a person within a time. So that is called habeas corpus. So the person one who perform crime, he has to appear within 24 hours. Okay, so that system is called habeas corpus. So within given the time, or it is the order which is given by the Supreme Court or High Court, he has to be submitted, or he has to be be witnessed in front of the court. That is known as habeas corpus. And next one is mandamus. Okay, habeas corpus and mandamus. Okay, habeas corpus. Next one is mandamus. What is mandamus? Mandamus is, this is also one order, or it is when the legislative body or when the legislative organs, such as we can say that the organs of the government, executive, legislative and judiciary, when the these people actually in the certain, when the people are do not perform their duties, so that time court will issue a order, okay, send a letter, so that is known as mandamus. It means the High Court or Supreme Court force them to do their duty properly. That is known as mandamus. Okay, next one is prohibition. What is prohibition here? Here, whenever, I mean, someone already told you that in the district level some courts are there, in the taluk level some courts are there, at the same time High Court and Supreme Courts are there. So when some of the subordinate courts, when the subordinate courts passes some judgment, so that judgment has to come within the jurisdiction. In case if that jurisdiction or the judgment is against to the higher court or Supreme Court, so the Supreme Court can pass the law or pass the judgment. It means whenever the court provides some justice, or whenever the court passes some law, so that should related to that particular jurisdiction. So they are not supposed to cross that. So that is known as prohibition. So in such situation, Supreme Court or High Court issue the order. Okay, so that order, it is against to the judgment of the subordinate courts. That is known as, that order is known as prohibitions. Next one is certiorari. Prohibition. Next one is certiorari. Okay, this is also like when the subordinate court pass judgment, their jurisdiction against the sense of natural justice. It means the higher order submission of the records related to that judgment to it. This order is called certiorari. It means we can understand that again, when it doesn't come within the jurisdiction, it is against to the sense of natural justice. So that time the Supreme Court or High Court will pass the order. That is called certiorari. Next one is co-warrant or co-warrant. Next one is co-certiorari. Next, co-warrant or co-warrant. What is this co-warrant? It is the order directing to the right of a person to occupy the right public offense is called a co-warrant. It means it protects the rights of the people, or it protects the public rights. That is called PIL, public interest litigation. So this can be filed in the courts in case when the public rights are not protected or social rights are denied. So that time, so they can file the case in the court and they could get justice in order to protect their life or in order to protect the environment. So these kind of co-warrant will be issued. It means the order directing to the right person to occupy the right public officer is called the co-warrant. Okay, so these are some of the important points which are included in the right to constitutional remedies. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can clarify in the next class. Thank you.